The NFL Combine is over, and NFL teams are starting to put together their draft boards. In this 7-round Jets mock draft, we're making the picks. Will we land a franchise-changing star, a hidden gem in the late rounds? Stick around, and we'll look to reshape the future of the New York Jets. I'm Julian Locasto, joined by my co-host Nick Perry, and this is the Gang Green Report. Let's get into it. Welcome to our first edition of Mock Draft Mondays, where we'll be putting on our GM caps and making the picks to help our beloved New York Jets in shaping this roster, not just for 2025, but for years to come. We'll come up with a theme each week leading up to the draft and kind of go based on those sets of rules. So this week, we kind of decided that we're going to trade down from number 7 to accumulate more draft capital and help us shape this roster. I think we can all agree that this is probably a preferred option for the fan base, seeing that the Jets have a ton of holes going into free agent period. So let's get this thing started. Let's go over to our mock draft simulator. All right, guys. So we are at number 7.
Ooh. Seeing a draft board just makes me nervous.
Let's see where the chips may fall here. So at number 7, obviously, if this were the board, I think we can all agree that we would probably be choosing between Mason Graham or probably a Tyler Warren, any of that nature. If we were sticking and picking, I think those would be guys that could be up for grabs. You know, there's a Mike Green, there's a bunch of other edge rushers that could be in consideration. Let's take a look at who would potentially be looking to trade up. We have number 10 available from the Bears. We have number 11 from Frisco, 20 from the Broncos, 25 from the Texans, and 32. I think we could all agree that I don't think the Jets would want to trade back this far, going to the 20s or even 30s in the draft. So it's between pick 10 and 11. Nick, which one do you think we should go with?
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, if you're looking at also what teams need on this draft board, I think the San Francisco kind of matches up with kind of what we're not looking for too much. So I think we can go with them. They kind of move up, we move back, gain some capital. And I think that, honestly, the picks between us, between Carolina, the Saints, Chicago, they're not looking at what we're looking at right now either. So I think Frisco would probably be the best bet.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd probably look to get their second or even a third in this situation. I'd even look to probably add their second or their third. Yeah. It's saying there's a 51% chance to be accepted in this deal. But I feel like if you're going off of value charts, we're probably more looking towards this as a trade. So we'd be getting their 3rd round pick, their first, and a potential 4th round that's not theirs. It's kind of somebody else's that they threw in. But I feel like this right here would probably be the ideal trade. It's probably something that makes more sense. I think in the ideal world, the Jets would try to get their 2nd round pick, but I want to try to make this as real as possible. So I think this would probably be the move. So let's take this for a ride. It gets accepted. Let's go here. So at number 11, we have a couple of guys here available. I think at this pick, personally, let's look at needs right now. So I think interior is obviously a big need. Safety is a big need. Corner. And then obviously linebacker might be a sneaky need, as well as wide receiver. I don't know about you, but for me, guys that stick out right away, probably Mike Green out of Marshall, Kenneth Grant, or even Will Johnson. Malachi Starks is kind of like a wild card for me. I mean, he did well at the combine, but I feel like there's so many good safeties and corners in this draft that we could probably get one in the mid rounds.
Yep.
You know, I don't know about you, but I'm leaning towards Mike Green or Kenneth Grant with this one to shore up the trenches.
Yeah, I feel like I know you're really high on Mike Green. That's your big guy that you really love, and I think Kenneth Grant again paired with remind me of the other gentleman from Michigan. That goes there. Drawing a blank on his name. Thank you, Mason Graham.
There you go. Mason Graham.
So I mean, paired with him, obviously we're not getting Mason Graham, but Kenneth Grant, a standout player. I think getting him right here at 11. They have him 15th ranked, 18.3 average draft position. I feel like we're getting him at a good rate. They might think you're taking him at a little bit of a high pick, but I think that's I would personally go Kenneth Grant. I think Mike
Yeah,
Green is flying up
let's
like you
let's
said,
not
but
overthink it. I think Kenneth Grant's probably the best pick here. I think shore up the trenches, get a big guy that you can pair next to Quinnen Williams that's really good in the run game. Obviously coming in at 6'3", 339 pounds, this is a guy that I think would probably plug up some holes. So you kind of sold me. So let's
definitely.
go with that one. So at pick 40, this is going
Oof.
to be a sweet spot for a ton of these guys here. Obviously, we just addressed the interior. Safety's a big need. Corner's a big need. There's a couple of really good guys on the board. I know Nick Emenwari from South Carolina. I don't even think he's going to, based on how he performed this weekend, I don't even think he's going to last to this pick. But if he's
Did he?
here, this is very enticing to kind of grab him here if he's
Yeah,
available.
absolutely.
I think the same thing with Xavier Watts. Xavier Watts is somebody that's been mocked to the draft, to the Jets a lot in mock drafts. He would be somebody that would be pretty high on the board right now for us. Even if he were to slide at this point, this is a great spot for him as well. So honestly, I'm torn between the two safeties. Xavier Watts is my fave, but obviously Emenwari, based on his performance in the combine this weekend, he kind of showed out in terms of his overall athleticism, and I think this is a guy that you could put in center field and kind of control your defense.
Yeah,
I
his
know you're
speed was
really high
unreal.
on him, so give me your thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like his speed. I mean, we just saw that at the combine was just unreal. The only reason why, like you said, I think Xavier Watts has been huge on the Jets draft boards. And
Mm-hmm.
Jets fans, I know he was really high on your board, and I
Yep.
feel like if he was able to fall to here at 42, if we were having that 42 pick, personally, even though I was high on Nick Imanwari, I would honestly take Xavier Watts, just put him back there. I mean, we know what happened. The last fantastic safety he came out of Notre Dame,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely panned out, Pro Bowler every year. Hopefully, he can repeat the trend. But I think that would be a huge pick for the Jets. Like you said, put him out there and let him command that defense.
Let's do it. We have three third round picks now here. So this is something that we can really capitalize here in the mid rounds. Receiver is still a need. A tight end is still a need. Edge. There's a lot of quality guys that we can get here. I see two really good tight ends on the board. I see a really good receiver in Jalen Knoll, and Jalen Royals. There's so many good prospects that we can go with here. Personally, I'm thinking based on how the board is falling here, I'm going to either lean towards Terrence Ferguson or Mason Taylor. I think based on his combine performance this weekend, Terrence Ferguson is really showing out in terms of his overall athleticism. He's somebody that I really think is going to fly up boards.
Yeah,
Fannon's still on the board. We could get him later. I personally am a little higher on Fannin. He didn't have the greatest combine performance, but he's somebody that I could still see the Jets going after here. Jalen Knoll, too. Very, very good, intriguing prospect. Had an amazing combine performance. I think that he's also somebody to keep an eye on. Personally, I would lean tight end here.
yep.
And I'm also on the camp of doubling up on tight end in this draft since we need pretty much two guys for the next season. Where are you at right now with this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think because we're going to lose Conklin in the offseason, that's what everybody's saying. I'm pretty sure it's a sure thing. But like
Yep.
you said, doubling up on that tight end, like if we could get that big run blocking tight end, really give Brees like some open holes, a nice solid offensive line that we have, I think here would be fantastic. Like Terrence Ferguson, like you said, I know we were really high on Bowling Green,
Fannin.
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 I think that we were both very high on him, but I think if Terrence Ferguson is there, I think you grab him, really shore up that tight end room this year.
Yep. I'd go here. I just think he's going to fly up draft boards with how well he did this past weekend.
And Fannon's
So we're
still there.
back on the clock here at 92, back end of the third now. We have two picks here in the back end of the third. So I would try to look to capitalize on this position. Isaiah Bond is here, somebody who tried to break the record and failed, but still ran a 4.4, so very impressive. This is somebody that I would really look to potentially grab at this position since we need a wide receiver really badly. I think at this spot, you're really getting kind of like the lower mid-tier guys. Isaiah Bond, Torrey Horton. Horton's coming off of the injury. I believe it's the ACL. So he might take a while to get back. And the ADP rate here is at an 84 with a true rank of 103. So I think it would be pretty good value to get him here. Linebacker is also a need. I talked about Jeffrey Bassa being somebody that I really enjoyed. Linebacker could be a sneaky need here. We also need an edge. Edge is also a pretty big sneaky need as well. There's a couple of guys on this board: Ashton Gillette, David Walker. We could probably get them a little bit later. So I'm not really too hyper focused on edge right now.
Yep.
I'm leaning towards Bassa.
Yep.
Or potentially Isaiah Bond. I personally think receiver is a big need with Devontae leaving, everything like that. So this could be a pretty big spot for receiver, considering we're starting to see some of the bigger names drop off.
Yeah, I definitely think Isaiah Bond here. Like you said, the guy, honestly, I would take a receiver at this part of the draft would be Torrey Horton. But like you said, coming off an injury, especially an ACL, you just don't know how well. I mean, he did get hurt earlier in the year, which was nice.
Yep.
So he'll be ready for the beginning of the season camp. But I think Isaiah Bond just at this point, I mean, I think that's a steal. Like there's Xavier Worthy, there's Fast, and there's Xavier Worthy. Just remember, but my man still ran a killer time at the combine.
Yeah, absolutely. We're back on the clock at 99. We have a lot of guys still on the board here. I'd still look to Ashton Gillette. I think he's somebody that we could really, really help us in the run game, as well as somebody who had a really good pass rush win rate. He had an above average as well on the run stop rate as well. So, we need to shore up these trenches. So I really would feel like he could help us out here as well. You have other guys. We need corner as well. Kobe Bryant, somebody that I've brought up in the past as well as somebody being a mid-round guy that we could take a swing here at. David Walker, again, another edge prospect that we could go after. I personally think Ashton Gillette stands out in this crop right here. So, give me your thoughts. I'm actually surprised that they have Harold Fannin dropping this far, but
yeah,
I don't do the rankings, so
I feel like they always just have him dropping so far, honestly, just because of school.
Yeah, probably just because of competition. I mean, he didn't have the greatest combine performance, so maybe they kind of, at least PFF probably knocked him down a tick because of that too as well. But I personally, like I said, I personally would go edge here.
Yeah.
I just think
I agree.
Ashton Gillette, he's somebody that's probably not even going to be here at our next pick. So I would probably go here.
Yep.
This is somebody that I think would be an instant upgrade in not just the run game, but on the edge presence as well, at least until JJ is completely healthy. I mean, we all know he's going to be healthy for camp, but somebody that I think could help us out right away. Now we have pick 109 here in the fourth.
This could be your time. This could be our time. Go get a good corner.
Yeah,
pair him back.
Kobe's here.
Pair him. I was going to say we talked about Kobe just a little bit ago. Pair him up with Sauce. Xavier Watts, a good rookie. Totally redo that.
Noel Williams is also somebody. Noel Williams is somebody that I also think is going to really fly up boards. He had an amazing combine performance, and again, this is somebody who had 7 picks last year for Cal.
And he's playing the slot.
So he's got a nose for a ball. He's got a really high run defense grade as well. Very, very, very big in zone coverage too, which is going to be big in our new scheme. As well. But Kobe Bryant's also a guy that I really, really like. So I could see either of these two being the pick. I personally think Noel is probably going to fly up boards with how well he did at the combine, but I still really, really like Kobe Bryant. I think he's got a nose for the ball, and he's just really good in the run game.
Yeah, I would take Kobe Bryant. I feel like he's at the top of the board. Like you said, he has a nose for the ball. He's an absolute ball hawk. And with him on one-on-one drills at the Senior Bowl, he was just showing out. Nobody was getting by him.
Absolutely. So we're here now in the 5th. I think this might be the time where I would start taking like some dart swings at some QB options. We've all seen the rumors that the Jets are interested in using their later round picks to kind of take a stab, or even a day 2 pick at most, on the quarterback position. So I would probably look here as a good option for the New York Jets. Quinn Ewers is here, Kyle McCord, two guys that are pretty high on the Jets board right now. So I would potentially look to McCord. I think he has the best ties to the Jets.
Yeah.
I really like him as a prospect. I thought that in general, he had an amazing season for the Orange. I'm
Hmm.
a little higher on McCord than most people. I also like Ewers, don't get me wrong. I think, he's somebody that can really like air the ball out. And again,
Hmm.
that's something that the Jets have been missing for the last couple of years.
And played good talent this year.
Yeah, and he did really good at the combine. He had a
Yeah.
really good showing. So I would take a stab at Ewers here. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
upset with that.
Yeah. I agree. I think Quinn Ewers just fits. He would take that flyer on him in the mid-round pick. I mean, you can't go wrong. He played an amazing year, even coming back from an injury and still tore it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think now is kind of at the point of the draft now where you're going to go based on traits, fifth, sixth, seventh round. This is where you're going to really depend on traits now to kind of like round out your roster. So based on what we've gotten so far, we've gotten the interior guy, we've gotten the safety, we've hit on tight end. Receiver was good. We're here at receiver. We have edge, corner, quarterback. We've hit on pretty much a lot of the big needs here.
Yep.
The biggest things that I feel like we still have that we
Somebody's
could
sticking
use.
out. Kobe King.
Yeah, Kobe King, linebacker is a sneaky need, and
Yeah.
Kobe King is a guy that's really good in the run game. Very
Yeah.
good tackler. Very good
Yeah.
tackler. I think this could be somebody that the Jets could really use in the late rounds if he's available.
Yep.
I think you kind of sold me there. I think Kobe King would be a really good stab here in the
Yeah.
late fifth.
Again, I feel like just playing, it's like beating a dead horse, but like playing good teams, Big Ten, great
Yeah,
tackler. I mean, you can't go wrong, especially with the uncertainty of Sherwood. I mean, you need a linebacker to fill that hole next to Quincy.
yeah, absolutely. And again, here, last 2 picks, I think we're going traits. We haven't addressed tackle.
Hmm. I think someone we both
Cornelius would be
kind of
somebody
looking
that
at.
would pop out to me right now based on where they currently have him sitting rank wise. He's in like the 190s, and we're at like pick 187. So I think
Yeah.
this is good value here. He's strictly a right tackle, and he's a massive body. I think this is somebody who's raw, 6'5", 315.
Senior.
I think this is somebody that we could bring in and sit behind a veteran for a year or two and potentially groom into your next right tackle.
Yeah.
So this would probably be somebody that I would take a dart swing at right now in the later rounds as somebody that we could develop.
Yeah, I think either him or somebody else on that list that we were talking about is like Holland Pierce. I mean, Rutgers was ranked top O line in the season this year for Rutgers. Obviously, smaller school, tough conference, Big Ten, but I mean, he put up great stats. But I feel
I'm a
like
big
this
I'm a
might be a
big Holland Pierce guy.
yeah.
I think he's
Again, he did play left tackle pretty much his whole. Well, he played right tackle in 2022, but
yep.
pretty much ever since then left tackle. Maybe we could swing him back over, but I feel like just at this time, maybe a little too high to take him.
Yeah.
And
I'd
Cornelius
probably go
again,
Cornelius.
same conference, Big Ten. I mean, so why not?
Yeah. Taking Cornelius. I think that's the best bet anyway. And then here, last pick. I think honestly you take a swing on traits.
Yeah,
I like Miles Frazier. I think he's probably one of the better interior linemen in this draft. I think he's getting really slept on by a lot of people. We need depth on the line. So Miles Frazier could be a good stab here. RJ Mickens would be a really good story. His dad was teammates with Aaron Glenn, our now head coach, so it would be a really good story to bring him in. Dante Thornton Jr., receiver out of Tennessee. He had one of the highest, he had one of the fastest receivers times at the 40 this year.
and he had amazing hands on that drill.
Ty Robinson is somebody who I don't even think after this weekend is going to be here in the late rounds, but he is a guy that is going to fly up boards as an interior guy. Obviously, we could take a stab at him based on his traits. He killed it at the combine and would be a monster up in the middle to pair with a lot of these other guys. So yeah, at this point, we're just taking a dart throw on a lot of these prospects. So I think mine would either be Frazier, Mickens, or we're taking another stab at Ty Robinson on the interior. But I think you can't go wrong at this point because a lot of these guys are just dart throws. You're just trying to see what sticks. But what are you thinking here?
I feel like just with the way the Jets are, I feel like you just double up with Frazier, especially at guard. Even if we have two solid guards, I think
you also never know with our history of injuries at the O-line position.
Injuries for our O-line is just constant every year.
We are one offensive lineman away, and this guy has played all over the line. You see it here. He played at a couple snaps at left tackle, left guard, right tackle, primarily a right guard the last couple of years, but in a pinch, he's also played tackle.
Yeah.
So, this is a guy, you could even draft this guy to play right guard, and you could swing out Elijah Vera Tucker if you really wanted to. Like, this is a guy that, and I know a lot of scouts are really high on him in terms of his ability. I know Dom C, he's one of like the big Jets scout YouTubers. He's very high on Miles Frazier. He interviewed him at the Senior Bowl. And he showed out in front of a great competition. So this would probably be my pick here to round out the draft for us. I think overall we did it really well, but I don't know what they're going to grade us out to be as.
Let's see.
We'll see right here.
They just look at a Jets draft and give us a bad grade.
Yeah, pretty much.
B+.
B+. Not bad. Solid pick there.
I like Quinn Ewers. A.
Yeah. I think that's just because they know we need a quarterback. So that's obviously true. Quinn is like the natural pick for us at that point. It's just like somebody that we need.
But honestly,
I can definitely see. I could see them giving us a good grade just based on that alone. But they like the Watts. They like Watts' value there. But I think that was just because he was really high on their board at that point in time.
Honestly, I feel like you look at the draft and you hit everything we needed to hit, and you doubled up on some positions that we've had injury troubles with in the past. You got standout guys from every school. Kobe Bryant, obviously Kansas not a huge football school, but there, Quinn Ewers, Kobe King, tough competition. Everybody's played tough competition, and honestly, will live up to it in the NFL, I think.
Yeah, I think this is great. So yeah, guys, the NFL Combine is in the books, and it's time that we did this, 7-round mock draft here. So obviously, who should the Jets target to shape out this roster? We broke down all these picks from all the potential guys in the first round, mid to late round guys, and sleepers. So, guys, with that being said, we're going to go take this. Let us know in the comments what you thought about this mock. Is this a good route that we should have taken based on the route that we took? What did you like? What didn't you agree with? Anything of that nature. So this is the Gangrene Report, and we'll catch you guys next time.